Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about my absolute favorite topic, which is new drugstore and affordable makeup. So I have a whole series of these videos on my channel if you want to check them out. I'm just such a huge fan of drugstore makeup. I feel like these brands are killing it lately, and there's almost no point in spending money on high-end makeup because the affordable stuff just got so good. So before we get started, I just want to say a quick hi to anybody who might be new here. And if you like affordable and drugstore makeup, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I talk about them a lot here. And also, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. Okay, so first we have some new things from Moira to talk about, and I am so excited. I know I still get questions from new viewers. Who is Moira? What is this brand? So this brand is currently only available online. I always get asked where you can buy it in stores. I know there are some stores throughout the United States where you can purchase it. I know in Texas, H-E-B stores sell it. And I think there's another grocery store somewhere, I think in either the South or the Midwest, that also carries it. I can't remember off the top of my head. Please let us know down in the comments if you've seen it anywhere. Here in Connecticut, we don't have any stores with Moira, so you really just have to order online. But their shipping is great. It's normally very fast. They pack everything super well. I've never had anything come broken. So overall, it's a very seamless experience. Plus, if you order from the website, I do have 15% off code to share with you. It's Gen15. So that'll save you a little bit of money. So first up, they have a new powder foundation. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know how much I love their powders. Their setting powders, the loose one and the pressed one, are really some of the only powders I can wear on my dry skin because they are so seamless and they just kind of melt in. They never look powdery, never look cakey. They don't accentuate fine lines or pores, or even if I have dry patches, they just seem to glide over those. They're amazing. So when I saw that they had a powder foundation, I couldn't get it fast enough because they just have the absolute best powders. So let me quickly show you some close-ups. They sent me 3 different shades in the lighter side of the range to try. They sent 150W, which has more of a warm undertone, 175C, which has a cool undertone, and then 200W, which is also on the warmer side. These are made in Korea. They say that they give sheer to full coverage with a natural matte finish, and they have sodium hyaluronate, vegan squalane, aloe vera, camellia extract. It's non-comedogenic and it says that it moisturizes your skin while staying put throughout the day. And on the back where it says how to use, they said to apply it with the puff if you want more full coverage, which comes in the compact itself. I'm guessing if you want a more sheer coverage, then you can apply it all over with a fluffy brush like you would with the setting powder. So I want to show you guys quickly just me applying this, and I did choose to use the puff. I'm actually wearing it in the video today. And guys, I don't know why I was surprised because I knew that I liked their powders, but I couldn't believe when I swiped the puff across my skin how this not only gave really nice coverage, but it made all of my texture just completely disappear. It gives you this really airbrushed finish. And it just made my skin look softer and almost porcelain-like. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. And when you look at one side versus the other, you can really see how the side with the powder just made everything look like it disappeared. And then when I kind of turned my face, you can see all of the texture. I was so impressed by it. So let me show you me actually applying it a little bit closer just so you can see how when I swipe it across my skin, how everything just changes. And you can really just get a good look at what I'm talking about. And like I said, the coverage is fantastic. I don't know if I would necessarily say it's full coverage, but it's pretty close. It's a medium to full when you use the puff. And when I look at my skin close up in the mirror, I cannot see any powdery residue. I can't see any dry patches. It doesn't cling to the flakes that are usually present on my nose. It just kind of glides over the fine lines and pores and makes those look less apparent. So this is just not only meeting my expectations, but it kind of went above them. I think this is the nicest powder foundation I have ever used, and I don't say that lightly. I do have an entire video on a CoverGirl powder foundation. I think it was called the Anti-Wrinkle Blurring Powder, and I still really love that one and I use it all the time. And this one is just knocking that one out of the top spot for me. Not that that one's bad, I still like it. I just like this one better. This is like the most seamless powder foundation I've ever tried, hands down. So highly recommend checking this one out, especially if you have dry or more mature skin like I do. Even if you normally avoid powders, I think you will really like this one. Next up, Moira also has some new contour wands. So these are a huge trend lately. We saw Flower Beauty come out with one, Milani, Tarte, Elf has them as well. So these come in 4 different shades. They did send me all 4 to try, and they come in tubes that look kind of like a chunkier lip gloss tube. I think they're really nice. They come with a large doe foot applicator to apply them with, and these are made in Taiwan. So as far as the colors go, the shade 100 Fair Light is more of a cool tone shade, which I love. I think this one's gonna be my perfect color. And then the shade 200 Soft Warm, I wouldn't say this one's any darker than 100. So they're about the same depth, just a little bit of a different undertone going on with this one. Then shade 300 Golden Honey. I was surprised that this one wasn't a little bit deeper than it is. Again, this one just kind of got even more warm toned than the first 2, but not necessarily that much darker. And then we have shade 400 Cocoa, and this one does have a little bit more depth to it. So those are the 4 shade options that they come in, and I have to say I really do love this formula. It's very pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. I always start out with just a little bit because you can always build if you need to, and this just blends seamlessly into the skin. It is the most beautiful formula. It doesn't lift your foundation underneath because it doesn't have any stickiness. It dries right down to a powder finish. And I think that this color also is perfection on my skin tone. I love the cooler undertone that it has, and it's not too dark. It just gives that very subtle shadowy contour, and I can always go in and build up a little bit more if I feel like I need to. But this definitely did not disappoint, and I would go so far as to say it's my favorite liquid contour right now. I like it better than the Flower Beauty one, which I think dries a little bit too fast and it can get patchy if you don't work quickly. The Elf one I felt like was okay, but I also just don't think it looks as smooth on the skin as this one does. I mean, I think it's decent. This one is better. And then as far as the Tarte one, I do really like the Tarte formula as well as the Milani and the Charlotte Tilbury, but all of those have a little bit more warmth in the lightest shade, and this one just has that perfect color. So it really has the formula that you would get in some of the higher end brands, but for me and for my skin tone, this is a better color than any of those offer in the lightest shade. So this is definitely another one I would highly recommend checking out. It is so good. Then the third thing I have from Moira, and the one that I'm probably even the most excited about, which is kind of hard to imagine since I love the first 2 products, but these are their new super hyped liquid pigments. So you might remember that they do have the Diamond Days liquid eyeshadows, which I've talked about before. I really enjoy those a lot. So the difference with these, I was at first not sure if they were replacing the Diamond Days with these. They're not. Those are still available. These are a completely different type of formula. So these are liquid pigments that you can not only use on your eyes, you can also use them on your cheeks, you can use them on your lips. So they are a super versatile product, and I think they're only like $7 each, plus with my code even less. So I used just a couple of these shades to do my entire face today, my eyes, lips, and cheeks, because I wanted to try it on all the different areas. So before we get into a demo with these, I just want to show you all of the different colors swatched out. So in this collection, there are 16 matte pigments and 8 shimmer or metallic finishes. And you have everything from neutrals to pinks to bright colors. There are some duochrome finishes in here as well. So let's just go through, and I'm gonna live swatch them for you just really, really fast, because while some of these are incredibly smooth and really opaque, there are a few, like the bright yellow one I can think of off the top of my head, that are a little bit more streaky. So I wanted you guys to be able to see how each color actually performs when you're swatching it. So I'm just gonna go through them super fast. So first we have shade number 1, My Way. Shade number 2 is Available. Shade 3 is Georgia. Shade 4 is All in All. Then we have shade 5, which is Next Step. Shade 6 is As If. Shade number 7 is Sunrise Pink. Shade 8 is Take It Easy. So here's a look at the first row. This row has mainly neutrals and pink and purple shades. Really, really gorgeous colors. Then for the second row, we have shade number 9, Self Image. Shade number 10 is Punch. Shade 11 is Hashtag. Shade 12 is Hyped. And then 13 is Bring It On. 14 is Lights Off. Shade 15 is Hottest. And shade 16 is Orange Dream. So in this row, we have a lot of really bright colors, beautiful primary colors. You have a white and a black. I did feel like a couple of these shades were a little bit streaky, especially compared to the first row. So I just wanted to mention that some of them felt a little bit on the thinner side. Maybe I just had to mix them a little bit better or shake up the tube, which I didn't do. And then moving on to the last row with the shimmers, we have shade number 17, Sugar Love. Number 18 is A-List. 19 is Crazy in Love. Shade 20 is Extra Sparkle. 21 is Golden Hour. 22 is Therapy Session. 23 is Superstar. And number 24 is Rebel. So here we have all of the shimmer shades. I think these are super gorgeous. Most of them swatched really beautifully. And having already applied them, I am super impressed. So let's go ahead and get into a demo. First, I took shade number 8 called Take It Easy. And this is a really pale pink with sort of a lavender undertone. It is so beautiful. I just dotted this on my eyelid and then I blended it out with my BK Beauty 202 brush. And this blended out so nicely. Like I said before, they have this really soft, moussey kind of a texture, and they dry right to a powder, so you do have to work a little bit quickly with them. Once they blend out though, they set down and they stay put all day. So these are really long wearing, and I haven't had any issues with creasing. Granted, I do have drier eyelids, so not a lot of eyeshadows crease on me, but these are just an incredible formula. Then to add some depth in the outer corner, I took the shade Next Step, which is shade number 5, and this one's a really deep sort of taupey purple. It's a dusty purple. And I put this one on the back of my hand and I picked it up with my little BK Beauty 209 brush, which is like a short little flat brush. And I love this one for putting shadow on the outer corner. So I just kind of packed it onto the outer corner. And again, it's such a soft texture with that moussey feel, and it really has great spreadability on the skin. So it doesn't grab or drag. So I just kind of put that where I wanted it. And then I went back with that 202 brush and just blended it out a little bit and just feathered the edges. Again, you do have to work somewhat quickly with these because they are going to dry down, but I would say they give you probably a good 15 to 30 seconds somewhere in there to work with them. So I think this worked out really well. And then for my lid, I used one of the shimmer shades. This is shade number 20, Extra Sparkle, which is a gorgeous rosy pink shimmery shade. It is absolutely stunning. And I just applied this right from the tube. I just applied it with the applicator. This one has little micro glitters in the formula, but it is just so smooth and gorgeous. And then I took that little BK Beauty 209 brush and I just stamped along the edge and just blended the edges of it a little bit just to help it blend and make it look a little bit more seamless. But I didn't touch most of what I put down, really just along the top edge. And it set down beautifully. I've been wearing this now for about 2 hours or so, and everything still looks perfect just the way that I left it. So I'm just so impressed with these. And when it comes to using them as a blush, I decided to use that shade number 5, the one that I used in my outer corner, which is like that dusty purple. And I just put 2 dots on my cheek. I thought this would be so pretty to coordinate my blush with my eye look. And I blended this out with my Profusion Buffing Foundation brush, which again, it's a really dense brush, great for applying cream products. And a little bit goes a very long way when it comes to using these as a blush. So I just want to put that out there. Don't use more than 1, maybe 2 dots at the most. You can always go back and add more if you feel like it's not enough color, but I felt like just 2 little dots was plenty when it came to this shade. And because they have a moussey texture, again, they dry right down, they don't remain sticky, and they also didn't pull up the powder foundation that I was wearing. I felt like it applied beautifully right on top of it. So that was awesome. And then I thought maybe I'll try a light cool tone pink for my lips. So I grabbed the shade 7, which is Sunrise Pink. And I put this one also on the back of my hand. They said when you're using it for lips to mix it with a lip gloss or a balm or something. So I took a little bit of my City Beauty lip oil and I also put that on my hand, and then I just mixed the two together and made a little bit of a gloss and then applied it to my lips just with my finger. They did say you can apply these pigments directly if you want a matte lip look, but for me, I'm not a big fan of matte lipsticks, so I felt like it was probably better to mix it with something hydrating. And then then once I put this on, I liked the color, but I wanted it to coordinate a little bit better with the rest of my look. So then I went back and I grabbed that dusty purple shade again, and I just added that right to the mix on my hand. And I added a little bit of that to my lips. And just adding that little bit of purple, I felt like it really just tied everything together. And these are just so much fun to play with. I love just coming up with different mixtures, and being able to use them all over your face is just amazing. So these are just such a fun and unique product that you really don't see anywhere in the drugstores. There may be some high-end brands doing it, but definitely not at this price. I haven't seen anything with this big of a shade range that you can use on eyes, cheeks, and lips. So I think these are fantastic. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and move on to some products that Catrice sent over. And quickly before we do that, I just want to mention my lip color might look a little different. I just had to leave to go get my son at school, and I went to reapply the lip products, and I don't know if I got the same mix of pigments, so it might look a little bit different, just in case you were wondering. So they sent this really cute bag with all of their summer collection. They have brand new Air Matte and Air Glow blushes, which I have talked about already, so I'm not gonna really get into those in today's video, but I can link the video where I did talk about them down in the description box in case you'd like to see swatches and all of that. I think these are a really great formula, and I love that the glowy ones aren't too glowy. They just have a beautiful satin finish. There's no like glitter or sparkle. They're really, really pretty. But let's talk about the other two things that they sent. So the first one is their new Summer Obsession palette. So they come out with a palette similar to this every year. Normally it has different colors in it. This one is very peachy and very warm toned overall. So you have 2 peachy or coral blushes, you have 2 bronzers, or one could possibly be a contour, just depending on your skin tone, and then 2 highlighter shades. So let me just quickly show you the swatches. I think these swatched so beautifully. They feel really, really soft in the pan. One of the blushes has a really beautiful satiny finish that just adds a little bit of glow without being sparkly. And the other blush is matte, as well as the 2 bronzer shades. And then the highlighters I found to be very, very smooth. Again, there's no obvious glitter or sparkle in the formula. They just have a really pretty pearlized finish, and that's typically what I'm looking for in a highlighter. I don't normally love a lot of glitter or sparkle, and they feel really smooth as well. So I'll quickly show you guys just me trying this on. I think everything performed and blended really beautifully. I forgot to mention that this palette is made in China, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that Catrice and Essence's products normally used to be made in Europe, but I've noticed that the last several releases that I've tried from them were made in China. So I don't know if something's changed. I'm curious to know if they had to change factories to keep their prices low, because inflation has been climbing and climbing over the last year or two, but I've noticed that their prices have stayed relatively the same. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but really I don't see any difference in quality in this palette. I thought everything just performed really well, and I'll have to check and see if this is available on Amazon. I'm pretty sure it is. Ever since Catrice left Ulta, Amazon and their website are really the only places that we can get it here in the United States. So anyway, I thought this was a really fun summer palette. They also sent over some new cream blush sticks, and I thought these looked really pretty as well. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Wet n Wild ones. So I'll show you a close-up of these. These are called the Cheek Flirt Face Stick. These are cruelty-free and vegan, and they're made in Poland. And they sent me 2 shades. I have R and Peach and Techno Pink. And I think these both look really beautiful. Neither one of them has any kind of shimmer to it, but they do seem to have a little bit of a glowier, satiny finish. They don't look like they're a flat matte. And on the cheeks, I did feel like the formula of these, it's just a little bit waxy and a little stiff. And I felt like when I first applied it to my face, there was a little bit of tugging on my skin. It doesn't quite have the glide that something like the Wet n Wild blush sticks do. And then when I went to blend it out, it did feel a little bit sticky and tacky initially, but once it actually blended into the skin, it dried down all the way. I didn't necessarily notice it lifting up my foundation, but I would just be careful with these because they are a little bit of a stiffer and stickier texture. It has the potential to lift your foundation if you swipe these on versus just maybe patting them in. It might even be better to pick them up on a brush, like right from the stick this way, and then just tap it on your cheeks rather than swiping the stick on your face like I did. But I'm really loving these 2 colors, especially Techno Pink. This is a gorgeous cool tone, and I love how it's a little bit of a brighter, punchier color. I think it's perfect for summertime. And I also found that because these are so pigmented, they lasted really well on me throughout the day, which I wasn't expecting. And I think part of it is that stickier, grippier kind of texture that they have, because the Wet n Wild one, while I love it, it's so like smooth and silky that it almost blends away as you're putting it on. And these almost kind of like sink into your skin and stain a little bit. So I just found that these last a really long time. So that's definitely a positive as far as the formula goes. So if you guys have tried these, I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on these? I also wanted to quickly talk about some hair products that I got from Skin Proud. So they have a new line called Hair Proud at Walmart. And you guys have heard me talk about Skin Proud's skincare products and also their body products I talked about in a recent video. They have like an exfoliating body serum that is so nice and a retinol body mask. And some of you guys have commented on other videos that you bought them and are really loving them. And I've been just so impressed with this line in general. I felt like their products are so high quality, the ingredients are really good, and they're so affordable. So when they sent me the Hair Proud, I was like, okay, definitely gonna try this today. So they sent me a shampoo and conditioner. This is the Revive and Repair line. So I'm pretty sure they have a bunch of different lines within the line. This particular line is for damaged and color treated hair. I did have to tell them like what my hair type was. And it has a vitamin and protein repair complex and niacinamide. So the other day I used these in the shower and they have such a good smell. If you guys have tried their exfoliating body serum that I talked about just a few minutes ago, it has the same scent as that. It's really good. It's fresh and clean, but at the same time kind of has like some warmth to it. It's just a really nice cozy scent. So anyway, the other day I used the shampoo and conditioner, and I also used the Hair Revival Leave-In Scalp and Hair Moisturizer. So once I washed my hair and towel dried, I sprayed this all over, and then I blow dried my hair and I curled it. And I'll show you what my hair looked like that day. I thought it had so much bounce. It really had a lot of nice body to it, and it didn't feel weighted down at all. So I loved that the conditioner and then the leave-in spray really hydrated my hair to the point where it felt soft and moisturized, but at the same time, it didn't feel greasy. It didn't feel weighted down, and my hair just felt really clean. So I loved that. And then they also sent me this product, which is called Glass Hair. It's a heat activated smoothing shine spray. And I think this is kind of supposed to be a dupe for the Color Wow Dream Coat spray, which I haven't tried, but I've heard so many people talk about it. And this sounds like a very similar product to that. That is supposed to coat your hair and basically eliminate frizz. And I think it's heat activated and it's supposed to stay for a couple of days. So this one says it's a long lasting shine perfector with hyaluronic acid and encapsulated shine complex. And it basically says to apply to damp hair, section it off, and then spray it liberally, and then blow dry using a round brush with some tension to release the encapsulated shine complex. So I used this today, and my hair, like, I don't normally wear my hair straight because my hair is very damaged from bleaching, and I also just naturally have a lot of frizz. But after using this, my hair is like so silky, and it's even a little bit shiny, and I never have shiny hair, especially when it's blonde. When my hair was darker, I felt like I could get it a little bit shinier, but I just feel like my hair always looks dull, and this really helped it so much, and it looks so much healthier that I felt like I could just wear it straight. And I was a little bit worried because I have fine hair that this was going to feel really greasy, because I had heard reviews about the Dream Coat from Color Wow that it makes people's hair feel really greasy and like weighed down. And so I was a little bit afraid that this was gonna do that, but it didn't. So I'm extremely impressed with this line. If you're looking for affordable hair care, definitely give it a try. I had posted a YouTube short like a week or two ago talking about my favorite hair products at Sephora, and I got so many people saying, recommend something from the drugstore because these are all too expensive. And so I'm recommending something from the drugstore. These are awesome. And like I said, if you don't have dry or damaged hair, if you have a different hair type, they do have other things in the line to check out. But I've just been so happy with everything from Skin Proud and Body Proud. So I had a feeling I was gonna like this too. All right, guys, so I think that's everything that I have for today. But if you'd like to see even more new drugstore products, I'll go ahead and put a playlist right here because like I said in the beginning, I have a bunch of these videos and you can check one out next. And I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to click on this video and to watch it. I really, truly appreciate you being here so much. If you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe button. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.